And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly, truly fantastic day today. Fanboys, fanboys, fanboys. LeBron James, fanboys, fanboys, fanboys. Welcome back to Fanboy Fridays, my people. Fanboys, you are ridiculous, and so is your king. The Mind the Game podcast, my people. This podcast, we are going to watch LeBron James destroy himself. We are watching LeBron James tell on himself. So, the recent episode with the Duck, the Deer, the leader of the 4 and 6 Kingdom, and Steve Nash, who apparently is also part of the 4 and 6 Kingdom, they talk about the physicality of the NBA and the adjustment that you have to make between the regular season and the playoffs, because it is so different. And especially this year, again, I feel like they allowed quite a bit more physicality than normal, which is why I believe it seems that more people have been enjoying the playoffs this year than previous years. But they talked about making that adjustment. And in the midst of this discussion, LeBron James fanboys, your king pretty much admits that he's been cheating the game. And so I'm gonna play 2 clips. I'm gonna play the first clip, and which they just kind of talk about the adjustment. But during this second clip that I'm going to play, LeBron James tells on himself. So fanboys, your chance to click off if you don't want to hear it. For everybody else, let's check out this first clip.
Let's start with the physicality. I mean, one thing is, like, the playoffs are always going to be more physical, but I think they're generally the last 10, 15 years, it's a big contrast from regular season to playoffs.
Yeah, the first thing I want to say to that is, like, if they're going to allow it to be as physical as it is, you got to give us a little time to prepare for it.
So, like, post All-Star break, something like that.
I mean, post All-Star break is usually like 30 games left, so maybe maybe 12 to 15 games left in the regular season. Okay, like a month. Yeah. Give us a month to prepare for it, because it goes from 0 to 100. It goes from us to be able to body check. No body check, no hand checking, no pushing a guy off their spot, no rerouting guys at all. For 8-9 months, and then, or for 6.5, 7 months, and then
have at it.
2 months straight. Have at it. Like, straight up, just no holds barred. And, it's fun.
Yeah, I don't think either of us have a problem with it.
We don't have a problem with it.
It's just a contrast.
It's just a contrast, of not being able to get into that flow. So, yeah, it's definitely, over the last, like you said, 10, 15 years, the game, they've allowed us to do it. Yeah. And it's fun. I personally wish we could do it all year. Yeah. But also have the body makeup for it to do it all year too. So it wouldn't be beneficial to the product to do, run a marathon. Run a sprint during a marathon.
All right. So in this first clip, my people, LeBron James says, "Hey, I wish we could play physical all year." LeBron James, I find that truly hard to believe. The way the bigger, stronger, faster, 6'9", 250-pound flopper spends his time flopping and whining every game. I have a hard time believing that guy, LeBron James, actually wishes they could play physical all year. The lie detected that was a lie. But you heard LeBron James say that they should give them about a month to prepare for the physicality. In other words, to start calling the game more physical about a month before the playoffs happen, because it's such a stark contrast. And my response to that is LeBron James, everybody is having to make the same adjustment at the same time. So what are you crying for? It's like LeBron James always needs some kind of special treatment. Again, the scenarios have to be perfect for LeBron James to be satisfied. And by perfect, I mean everything has to be set up in order for him to have the best chance at winning, which really doesn't matter, because even if the circumstances are perfect, by his own admission, then if they still lose, he still makes excuses. What do I mean by perfect by his own admission? Well, I believe it was the 2021-22 season, when the Lakers put together the super team that does not get talked about enough, partly because it was a monumental failure, but this is exactly the reason why it needs to be talked about more as it pertains to the legacy of LeBron James. Is because this was, to me, a bigger super team than the Miami team. Now, yes, you could talk about Miami being all in their primes with him, D. Wade, and Bosh, but I mean, the Lakers super team, my goodness, you had LeBron, which if you don't want to count him as a superstar, I understand, but you had LeBron, you had Westbrook, you had Dwight Howard, you had Carmelo Anthony, you had Rondo, you had Anthony Davis. I mean, my goodness. And people didn't think this was going to work, but LeBron James' response was to keep that same energy. This is what he tweeted. You know, he basically felt very confident that this team would be successful. And why wouldn't you feel confident with a roster like that? Why wouldn't you feel like, yeah, we got this? But everybody forgets about the X factor, and the X factor in a bad way, not a good way, is LeBron James, his lack of leadership, his way of sucking the team dry because he can only play in the system, and his way of not bringing the best out of his players, no matter what they try to tell you. So, again, even when circumstances line up perfectly for LeBron, if he loses, then there will be excuses. But yeah, this goes back to LeBron James saying that, hey, I wish they would give us a month to prepare for this physicality. Didn't just throw us. LeBron James, out of all people, again, the one who they constantly praise for keeping his body in shape, for being bigger, stronger, faster. The bigger, stronger, faster player is the one crying and complaining, wishing that they gave him more time to prepare for the physicality. Again, poor LeBron James. This guy just cannot get a break. The stars just can't align for LeBron James. But all right. Without further ado, my people, let's get into this clip where LeBron James exposes himself, where he tells on himself.
It is a big contrast, and I think sometimes people will say, well, the numbers, numerically, the playoffs aren't that much different than the regular season. But I think when you're out there on the floor, it's different.
Yeah, when you're out there on the floor, it's different. It feels different. You know it's different. You know, the things that you're able to get away with, you can't get away with once the postseason starts. And like I said, I love it. It comes down to just making basketball plays. Right. You know, it's not much foul baiting. It's not much, trying to trick the referees. Right. It's just like, how can we execute, get a bucket, get a stop on the other end?
Right.
And that's the true essence of the game.
My people, did you hear that? Let me play this part again for those who might have missed it. Let me play this again.
Making basketball plays. Right. It's not much foul baiting. It's not much, trying to trick the referees. Right. It's just like, how can we execute, get a bucket, get a stop on the other end?
Right.
And that's the true essence of the game.
So LeBron James says that the result of the physicality is that you just have to worry about basketball plays, about playing basketball. He said there's not much foul baiting, there's not much tricking the referees. Tricking the referees. He didn't even use the word flopping. He actually said tricking the referees. Now, when I hear LeBron James say tricking the referees, I immediately think of the video where he was caught peeking from under his hand to see if his flop had worked on the referees. When I hear LeBron James make a statement like this tells me LeBron James knows that this is cheating the game. LeBron James understands that he is actually trying to trick the referees. Let me play this one more time. LeBron James fanboys, your king is destroying himself. Your king is destroying himself. Let me play this one more time.
And like I said, I love it. It comes down to just making basketball plays.
Right.
You know, it's not much foul baiting. It's not much, trying to trick the referees.
Right.
It's just like, how can we execute, get a bucket, get a stop on the other end?
Right.
And that's the true essence of the game.
That is the true essence of the game, LeBron James. That's what basketball is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about playing the game of basketball by the rules that are set for the game of basketball. It doesn't matter what game you are playing. Unless the game is about tricking people, then you are cheating. Unless that is the rule of the game, is trying to trick people, then you are cheating. You can be playing Monopoly. For those who, Monopoly is one of my favorite games. Me and my family, we play it probably about once a year, and it's a serious deal. But in Monopoly, there are set rules. And if you are trying to trick people to be able to bypass those rules, you are cheating. You can be playing football. You can be playing any number of games that has set rules. If you are trying to trick people so that you can bypass some rules, so that things can go in your favor, you are cheating the game. There is no other way around it. So this is an admission. LeBron James knows what he's doing. So again, I say for people who, if you have LeBron James ranked in your top 5, if you have him ranked in your top 10, well, what I'm saying is, there's a case to be made that LeBron James shouldn't be ranked among the greats at all. Because you can't just rank him off his potential. You can't just rank him off of his numbers and accolades, because he has cheated to get those numbers and accolades. LeBron James, his whole career, bending and breaking rules. And once again, this is out the duck's mouth himself, saying that part of the results of it being more physical is that it's less foul baiting, less tricking the refs. This statement alone, for anybody who has LeBron James ranked in their top 10, let's go ahead and just, top 5 is over with. Top 10. Anybody who has LeBron James ranked in their top 10, if you hear this clip, this should automatically disqualify him. Because this tells you that he knows what he's doing. And what I mean by knows what he's doing, I don't mean, of course he knows he's flopping. Of course he knows that. But some people can be morally ambiguous to things. But this lets you know that he understands that this is cheating. He understands that he is purposefully tricking the refs. The fact that he used that word, to me, lets me know that he understands this is cheating. There's no way around it. So again, for all, for some of these content creators who cap for LeBron James on a daily basis, this is what I'm talking about. For these content creators who tried to get me to come on their show to debate about LeBron, is like, no, because I'm not coming to debate numbers and accolades with you. We're not going to ever get to the numbers and accolades until we can agree that LeBron James has cheated the game. And once we can agree to that, then what else is there to talk about? Once we can agree that the way LeBron James has achieved what he has achieved is through cheating and manipulation, what else is there to talk about? Then there's no need to even bring up the numbers and accolades at all. And this is why I say, anybody who wants to have this debate, the debate starts at how he achieved what he achieved, not what he achieved. I'm not willing to even have that discussion until we talk about how it was done, until we can come to an agreement that it is cheating. Now, if we talk about it, if you can hear LeBron James say this and still not agree that he has cheated, then that's a conversation you need to have with yourself. But at that point, it's nothing else to talk about. But anyway, round of applause for LeBron James, ladies and gentlemen, in the Mind the Game podcast. It is the gift that keeps on giving. It is LeBron James exposing himself for us. We're not even going to have to do the work. LeBron James is taking care of it all by running his mouth on this podcast. And you got Steve Nash sitting over there, It's amazing to me that Steve Nash can sit over there and hear LeBron James say these things and pretend as if LeBron James isn't the one doing it the most. It is amazing to me that Steve Nash can sit there and have this conversation and hear LeBron James say, oh, well, some of the effects of the physicality is we have to just focus on playing basketball, and, there's a lot less foul baiting and trying to trick the refs. And Steve Nash is just sitting there nodding his head in agreement and smiling and, just co-signing everything LeBron James saying without acknowledging, hey, LeBron, you do that stuff the most. It's truly amazing. But anyway, we gonna hold up here. Happy Fanboy Friday to you LeBron James fanboys. Last thing I'm gonna say is, LeBron James fanboys, I understand this was a hard year for you, and I am very happy about that. I'm glad this was a hard year for you. But as hard as this year was for you, let me go ahead and tell you guys that next year it gets worse. LeBron James fanboys, how many times do I have to try to warn you guys? How many times must I warn you guys about what's coming with your king? I told you this year was going to be a circus. Now I'm here today telling you next year is going to be worse because Michael Jordan will be seen more frequently. And we can debate or not about the type of things that we think Michael Jordan will actually come out and say. Again, I don't think it's in Michael Jordan to actually cap. Now, Michael Jordan is a positive person, so I'm sure Michael Jordan is going to be as positive as he can possibly be, because that's how he has been his whole career. This is who he is. But I do not believe he is going to be capping and literally saying things that he doesn't believe. I just cannot see that. But regardless of what he says, that's not gonna much matter, because fanboys, your king is gonna have to come face to face with seeing how a GOAT gets treated. LeBron James fanboys, you guys are going to have to come face to face, a constant reminder of how a GOAT actually gets treated, of how a GOAT is respected, about how a GOAT is revered, how a GOAT talks, how people respond to the GOAT when he talks. You guys are going to actually get to see this, and it is going to be a constant reminder that, oh, my king is not the GOAT. And it's going to be great, so, fanboys, all I can tell you is, for those of you who've been following me since the beginning of my YouTube journey, because you just can't help yourself but defend your king every day, next year is going to be a lot worse. So, get your box of tissues and get ready to shed some tears, because we are all going to be here to laugh at your pain. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What did you think of LeBron James, the Duck, the Deer, the leader of the 4 and 6 Kingdom? What did you think of him revealing that he understands that they are trying to trick the referee? He understands it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.